Some days serious, good days, bad days, baby days, crazy days, mom days, every day. Man, I'm dead serious.
It's your guy Joey Yoshi.
Man, I'm dead
Right, and
serious.
welcome back to I'm Dead
Man, I'm
Serious,
dead serious.
Parenting with No Chaser. In case you didn't know by now, Andrew Gilliam is won the Democratic nomination for governor in Florida. It's record-breaking, man. I mean, he's talking about being the underdog and shattering records, getting national support from celebrities and people, all races, all colors. Talk about the youth standing up. Dade County, stand up. Broward, stand up. Orlando, all these cities in Florida, out of all the places in the world. How does that happen? That's why this episode is called Shut Up and Vote. This is about all the people that we know that complain about change but don't vote. Complain about the liberals but don't vote. Complain about politics but don't vote. This is our crash course in politics with special guest attorney Camara Williams. Check it out. And I thought it was really important that we do that because got a lot of things happening right now with these local elections. And I've been talking to a lot of people in the neighborhood and in the grocery store, and I'm finding out that a lot of people aren't even voting or have not voted, don't plan on voting. They don't understand the process. So I figured, man, who better to have on here than my dude Camara? So I'm really glad you came on, man. We appreciate that.
No problem. And I just want to put on record that I'm actually cooking some rice right now. So, listen, this is dad duty.
Yeah. Hey, exactly, man.
I had to run home and make sure the chicken's already done, make sure the rice done before I go pick up these kids.
Right. And of course you're Jamaican, so you're cooking rice.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly. Yo, Kamar, you have two beautiful daughters. You have an amazing wife. Man, how's everybody doing? Everybody's good?
Everybody's good, man. Everybody's lovely. They're spending my money, spending my energy, spending my time.
Draining you dry. Exactly.
Draining me dry like vampires.
Yo, man. Hey, one of the really cool things, man, little known fact, I think Kamara's wife may have been on tour with Chris Brown. She's really quiet, but she's quietly one of the best dancers I've ever seen. So if you ever see them at an event, don't let it fool you. So, yo. Man, so our daughters are about the same age, man. What are you loving right now the most about being a dad besides having to run home and cook rice like this?
Man, it's like every day, you see like a development. Like they'll say like a new word, like, oh, I didn't even know you knew that word.
Right. Right.
It's like it's just kind of seeing this human take shape and form like right before your eyes, and it's an amazing thing. Sometimes you want to step back and just let them develop, and other times you want to you want to guide them like you're the training wheels. But
yeah,
the best thing about life, as you've gotten older, is that you learn by falling, you learn by experience, and you just want to see them get everything that's due to them in this world that's good and positive without them hurting themselves too much. But I mean, that's the best part about, like you said, just them being so young. My daughter just turned 2 in May, and I have another one turning 5 in October.
Yeah.
And it's just to see the development and the personalities, and 2 different personalities.
2 very different personalities. Yeah. I love that, man. That's my favorite thing too. Is 1 minute they're this cute little Care Bear in your arms and they love you, and then next thing you know you got a scratch across your face and they turn to a gremlin and you're like, who is this person?
Right, and then they next minute they're like telling you they're sorry and they love you and they want to play with you. It's
Right. And they'll literally help put the Band-Aid over your eye because they scratched you.
Yeah.
So that's the part I love. So, man, you are an amazing attorney. I've worked with you before. I know a lot of friends and family that have worked with you. What was it about the legal process or lack of that made you want to become an attorney?
Well, I was Jamaican, so I only had like 1 or 2. There was a lawyer or a doctor.
A lawyer or a doctor, exactly.
I didn't really have much choice in the matter.
You had to choose.
I had to choose.
Red or green
It was
pill.
a caste system.
Right.
But you know, man, like the thing about it, what fascinated me about being an attorney is just the ability to help people. Hold on, the rice. I got.
Exactly.
But no, I just love the ability to help people, and I was fascinated by that at a young age. In fact, little known story. I was in high school, and I had a teacher who named Mr. Warfield, and he actually became transgender. He changed his gender.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm Jamaican, so I'm not going to sit there and front. We come from very conservative backgrounds, you know.
Right.
So he was having. It was back then. It wasn't as common as it is now. So this is back in the '90s. Okay.
Right.
So you get it. It's a different time.
Different time. Absolutely.
So it was a big deal because the parents wanted him out to school.
Wow.
So there was this whole big town hall about him being on this panel. Him being on a teacher, and then they had this panel, and he had to talk about how he still wanted to keep his job. He still wanted to teach, or she still wanted to teach. And so I went down there on my bike. This is how young I had a bike. I didn't have a car.
And no cell phone either. So you just riding for miles. Exactly.
I was riding for miles. Kids don't know about that. Riding for miles with cell phone.
With no communication.
Listen, you're just living on the Lord's good humor.
Right. Dangerous as hell. Right.
Yeah. And so I went down there, and I had no intention of speaking. I just went down there to kind of, check it out. So it was a big deal in our community. And so teachers were like, parents were upset. So I sat there in the back, and these parents were going at him, at her, going at her, right? And I was just like, man, that ain't even cool. Like, I didn't know what she changed her name to, but when she was my professor, my teacher, Mr. Warfield, I was like, Mr. Warfield was always cool.
Yeah.
Mr. Warfield was always cool, and he was funny and he was endearing, and so I was like, why are they acting like this is a bad teacher? Because they were acting like this. They were acting like this person was a bad teacher. I was like, no, she was actually a good teacher. She just changed her appearance, but it didn't change the way this person operated as a teacher. So. And I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand the whole transgender thing, right?
Right.
I didn't get it. I didn't understand why somebody would do that. But that wasn't my problem. That wasn't none of my business at the end of the day.
Do you think that the community had a problem with the fact that he wanted to become she, or that he was gay, or just his lifestyle, period?
I don't think she wasn't gay because she still wanted to be married to influence the children.
Wow.
It was just this big thing. So anyway, it's all happening. They're going at him. They're just going at him. And I was like, man, what's going on? So I went ahead and they were like, does anybody want to speak on his behalf? Nobody wanted to get up to the microphone. I ain't going to let this person go out like that. So I'm going to go step up on the microphone. I'm going to talk about why this person's a good teacher. And it was an out-of-body experience. I don't even remember what I said, right? I don't remember what I said.
Yeah.
But I started just, I started running off on my mouth. And next thing I know, it was kind of like I kind of faced back into my body, and then everybody started clapping and standing. Same people that were yelling at him, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
And then I looked over, and she was just smiling and grinning. And I'm like, dang, what did I say? Right?
Right.
Literally, I'm like, what did I say?
Right.
So anyway, now I get up I leave. If people want to talk to me, I leave. I hurry up and get out of there.
Yeah.
Right? I don't remember what I said, and I don't want to get in trouble. I don't know what, I know people are happy, right? So then I get on my bike, and I go home. And my parents are home, and I don't tell them nothing happened, right?
Right.
So then my mom gets, I hear her downstairs. My mom said, "What do you mean? He did what? What do you mean on the news? What channel?" Kamara, come downstairs.
Right.
And then she's, um, she turn the volume up. So and so said they saw you on the news, and then the person's like, "No, but he did very well. He was well spoken, and he advocated, and he actually changed people's minds." And I was watching it like, you know what? He's right, and this is very gifted. My mom wasn't hearing none of that. She's like, how Jamaicans are with that. She was not trying
What
to
do
hear
you?
that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She was not trying to hear that.
Dang.
And so anyway, but I say that story.
And so it began. Right.
Is that I've always had this thing where I wanted to advocate for people who couldn't stand it for themselves. I'm a short guy, short in stature. And I have no problem fighting, and my biggest thing about bullies or people who want to take advantage of people who they think they can take advantage of is bullies. They don't like to fight back once you hit them in the mouth.
Right.
I've always been my mentality, so I don't mind fighting. I don't mind standing up for people who can't do it, and I think that's always been in me. I think maybe that's because I got a short man complex, So, but I mean, that's just what it is. And so it's what drove me to do well in sports. I don't back down. It drove me to always try to shoot for higher than what is supposed to be perceived for me. So I mean, I that's just the way my makeup is, man.
Man, what an awesome story. And I mean, that's exactly why we're talking about voter chill, right? Vote and chill. Is there are a lot of attorneys out there like you, but we need more like you. And at the same time, like, what if you had not been at that that community hearing when everybody was going in on dude, And I mean that's why it's really important for people to get out and vote. But people are literally not voting anymore, man. And that's the crazy part to me. Like, you used to go to a party. I'm like, oh hell, here we go. But people want to know, and now when you have those conversations, people say, wow, to be honest, I didn't even vote, man. And yeah, and you're like, what? Yeah, I didn't even vote. I mean, it was like two evils. Okay, all right, and then even on the local level, like, hey man, are you voting tomorrow? Oh man, damn! Thanks for reminding me. Who's running? What? Yeah. So, I mean, when do you think that changed, man? What, particularly with our generation, because our parents didn't play that. Like, our parents, I mean, I remember being dragged to voting polls all the time as a kid. Oh, so what year was it? Was it when Hillary lost the first time, or like, I mean, when did the climate change so much that people just said, I'm not going to even vote anymore?
People really not being engaged anymore, right?
Right.
So. We are actually a part of the system as far as getting engaged in the system, right?
Right.
And moving the needle, like that means taking things to the Supreme Court. That means fighting for voting rights, And I always say that you can always tell something's important when people try to keep it away from you, And so, focus in how to be engaged, and that is what really propelled people to really get engaged socially, and then our parents were products of that, of their grandparents being socially engaged,
Right.
And so that's the thing where they were like, you know what, we saw this happen, we saw this work, and we want to continue that legacy of being engaged politically, and somewhere along the line, as in every generation, it always gets a little bit watered down. And now you got people who are 5, 4 generations, 3 generations away from civil rights. It's not real to them anymore.
That's a great point. So it's almost like, I remember seeing it work for you, but I haven't seen it work.
Right. And so, you have people who are like, you know what, this stuff doesn't change change anything. And so there's this very myopic view of, okay, well, I don't really have to participate because it's not going to really change anything anyway.
Right.
And all we have is politics can get very overwhelming for people, and so they don't understand there's different mechanisms to change, right? And so
There's
can't.
levels to this thing.
Yeah, there's levels. And so voting for something doesn't mean it's going to really actually, be enacted right then and there. You know what I mean? Or things are going to change right then and there. And you combine that within our society, we've become a very instant society.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so they want to see things happen in a very quick fashion. And when it doesn't happen that way, it really dissuades them from participating in the entire process. I say all that to say because in 2008, what you have is you have people who really were galvanized by Barack Obama, right? And they saw something different and want to be a part of it. And I have my criticisms of, the Obama administration. I love them. I mean, I have pictures of them in my house, them kissing my Barack.
It's my screensaver, right?
So clearly, black people, we got pictures in our house of somebody, they're pretty much considered family, but you can be critical of family, but that's neither here nor there.
Absolutely.
But, you saw people participate in 2008, get excited about it, and then they were thinking it's going to be this magic change in their world, and nothing really changed entirely, right?
Right.
And to where it was tangible for them, that they could put their hands on.
Right. Not on the surface that it didn't change for them.
Right. And so it really dissuaded people, like, you know what? It's not that big of a deal. It doesn't change anything. What they don't understand is that presidents, you can't really grade a president effectiveness until 10, 15 years after they get out of office. An ocean liner, right?
Yeah.
An ocean liner you can't change an ocean liner. Ocean liner takes at least 10 miles to change,
Right. It's not like ordering from Zaxby's and you said, "Hey, I told you extra ketchup."
Right.
Right. It doesn't happen like that.
Right. I mean, the economy started functioning in a better way. It's had the job growth rate continue to rise, even to the point where Trump has benefited from that continual positive growth rate in jobs. You saw our standing in the world rise, but that stuff still wasn't tangible for people. Because on the ground, people were like, "Well, I'm still struggling. I still don't have health care. I still don't have the ability to really invest money.
Right.
Stock market's doing great, but what does that mean for me? Because reality, the stock market's not really an investment tool or not engaged for investment for the average American. It's actually engage in consumer purchase. That's what people don't understand.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I don't get about our country right now is, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, or you just don't participate in the process at all, when people talk about how well the economy is doing right now, and they give all that praise to the current administration, but your family is still struggling, and you still don't have health care. You have one side that gets totally behind that because they listen to the news, they listen to talk radio, and they say, no, the economy's doing great. Then you have the other side that's like, well, if it's doing so great, how come I'm still struggling? And I think, like you said, I think there's a lot of misconceptions. People don't understand that these changes are happening on such a macro level that it's not going to affect your pocket immediately, And
it's the point where I will say there were people who said, "I'm not going to vote for this election because it's the same. It's choosing between two evils." But that was really I thought was a very intellectually dishonest assumption of the two nominations. The problems with the Clintons. I'm not sitting there. You don't have to sit there and give me the whole diatribe about what the problem with the Clintons. I'm not their advocates. I am not their trumpeters. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that.
Right.
But there's something very real you have to understand. Hillary had her own issues. that would have been addressed had she been in office, right?
Right.
Trump being in office set in motion things that are going to affect you that you don't even know. That, it was the tax plan that was, when people are not going to understand it until 20 years from now, that tax plan, was, as economists have said, is actually the biggest robbery in American history for the American middle class and lower middle class to lower middle class.
Wow.
Right? It's because it's not going to help them. And people are not, and people are going to wake up in 15 years like, oh snap, that was a bad tax plan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be too late. And, but they're not going to be able to see it because it's the ocean liner taking 10 miles to turn. It's in just the 2 years he's been president. That's more than any other president.
That's insane. I thought I read that somewhere. That's crazy.
That's insane. These are lifetime appointees, right? These are people that decide laws that affect your life. The worst. This is. It is the choice of two evils. Well, listen. You dance with the devil, you know. The devil, who I had no idea what to expect, but I could anticipate.
Right.
All the touchstones of what we're looking for in a politician or someone in public office. That's not going to happen.
Exactly.
You're not perfect, and they're not perfect. So guess what? You understand imperfections, but you have to work with the things that you know you can get done, and it's gonna affect you directly.
I wish people knew that, man, and I'm really glad that you are bringing up all these points in this history, because the other part that's kind of interesting to me, not kind of, it's very interesting. Once a Republican, always a Republican. I mean, I don't care if they're driving into a building head first, 80 miles an hour. They're like, well, I got to vote Republican. You're like, what? And I mean, and that's just what it is. I mean, people, I don't understand why based on a party affiliation, people will say, well, you know what? I know this plane is going to hell, but I got to stay in this seat. Community versus party affiliation. Would you agree?
1,000%. Actually, this might offend my political connects. if I can, quote Hove, but I'm not really into just people just saying I'm going to vote Democrat just because.
I can't do it.
I feel like the Democratic Party has to show and prove that they're listening to the people on the ground and not just putting people in place because they got the D next to their name.
Right. Yeah.
And what you find is that the Democratic Party, on a certain level, is similar, to the Democratic Party, to the Republican Party, in the way they operate.
Absolutely.
Right? And so you have to be careful of just blind loyalty to a party, because a party, you can be loyal to a party, but the party's not loyal to you. Yes, I choose Democrat, right?
Right.
But that's my dancing partner. But I'll switch partners if I find somebody that can lockstep with me a lot better.
Yeah, I got you. And what would you mind?
And George W. Bush then takes us into a war in both Iraq and Afghanistan, which we're still paying for it 20 years later.
Right.
Right? Based off of 637 votes in 2000. Now, new generation candidate and ran as somebody who's progressive, but he operated his White House as a centrist. Why? Because it was the Clintonian standard of governing. In order to keep the White House, you have to, and pull people from the right, you have to operate from the middle. Well,
you know what? what's the worst thing that can happen? I'm just gonna go ahead and try this whole bottle of Molly, and just see where that takes it. So that's kind of where we are right now.
In 2008 that things were going to change when um, Barack Obama got in office, and uh, he actually had this slogan called "Change," right, and hope, and um, people really just bought into it, but their life didn't change. And as I said, you know, federal elections are like ocean liners. You're not going to really see the overall difference in your life immediately because it takes, as I said, it takes about 10 miles for an ocean liner to turn around.
Right. It's such a big thing, man. Like it's not an overnight process.
Right. Your midterm elections, because if a federal election is an ocean liner, the state election, or like say for governor, that's your yacht, right?
Right.
And
Gotcha.
yachts are easier to turn around, and if we're gonna go with the same, analogy with the boat analogy, we're gonna keep going down. A local election like your mayor or your county commissioners, that's your speedboat. Things are enacted immediately, you know, and so you will feel the exact change in the wake. We're still using nautical terms of in the wake of the election, and so you see how when people are less in tune with the midterm elections, and yet their lives are directly affected by being less in tune with the thing that affects you the most.
Right. So basically, so you're saying your state and local elections, it is people do need to actually pay attention to those, even if it's for, little stuff of District 3, District 4, District 5, yada yada yada, because those local ones are the ones that we actually have control over, and those are the ones that we'll feel the effect of immediately, whereas the other ones are long term. Yeah.
Right, correct. And if anything, you look at it like your governor's election should mean more to you than your presidential election.
Wow. Why
Okay?
you say that?
Because, you know, like here in the state of Florida, Governor Scott has done things that has directly affected your life.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And just as a retirement. He's rejected constant bills that affected the environment on the beaches, thus resulting in the red, in the red guacamole that's on the beaches, and it's affected tourism. And now some of our beaches and our waterways are environmental hazards, right?
Oh yeah, this whole red tide is out of control. Yeah.
Yeah, he's done things where he's rejected money for federal money for a railway.
Yeah, I'm about to say, dude. Speaking of, because I don't have the best track record of keeping up with local politics, but I remember there were a couple years where I was super amped because I was like, yeah, man, we're about to get a speed rail that's going to take you from Orlando all the way down to Miami in like a freaking hour, and then next thing I know, it was like off the table.
Mm-hmm. Why? Because Rick Scott wanted to go off this thing of not accepting federal money because the Republican dogma is, especially when Obama was in office, like not expecting federal money. And the way it works actually is the federal government can't make states do anything, but they can entice them by giving them money. So if I'm going to give you a billion so dollars, then it's going to be understood that, okay, if I'm giving you billions of dollars, that means you're going to have to then agree to do certain things, right?
Right.
And Rick Scott did not want to accept money from the Obama administration because that meant then he would have to possibly incorporate Obamacare into the state, which would have affected people positively anyway.
Right.
And even to that effect, still staying on the federal monies and health, he rejected monies that would have helped properly fund Medicaid and in turn, obviously Medicare, which is a federal program. Midterms because nothing affects my life. Well, guess what? If majority of the policies that are written only affect 12% or 16% of the state,
Yeah.
right? It's because 16% of the state is the only one that votes, right?
Right.
Is a
Right.
consistent vote. People are not going to make laws for people who don't vote.
Mm.
Happening around you, whether locally or state.
Right. Right.
You know,
So when they shut down the mall in your neighborhood, you can't be mad about it because you didn't vote.
right? When they raise your property taxes, right?
Right.
You can't be mad because you didn't vote. You didn't pay attention. You
Right.
know,
Right.
and listen, a couple days, and people have made their lives around this concert, right?
Right. People have damn near taken out loans to go to this concert.
People taking out loans to go to this concert. People taking off work to go to this concert.
Taking off work, right?
People doing certain things, but they're changing their lives. And it's the same thing. People are not doing the same thing when it comes to voting because they're like, oh, I didn't even know election day was coming up. You didn't know election day was coming up, but you knew a concert was coming into town.
Right.
That's the level of focus that we need to have, the things that affect our life. Because guess what? Jay-Z and Beyonce are going to be all right. They're going to come in town, they're going to wreck shop, they're going to do their thing, and they're going to leave town, and they're still going to be worth over $1 billion.
Right. Meanwhile,
back at the ranch,
exactly. Right.
you're sitting there struggling.
Yeah.
In the afterglow of the concert that you done skipped out on your rent to pay.
Right.
Go to.
This your third time getting written up because you went to the Beyonce concert and then you gonna call me, tell me can I hold something?
Can I hold something?
Right. Just till I get on my feet though. Right.
Just till I get on my feet. And but it's the level of priority that people have that listen. And I'm not fronting. I'm going to the concert too.
My wife just left, man. She's still on the high.
Listen. It's one of those things where I understand the attractiveness of being going to something that's fun and exciting, or paying attention to things that don't really require a lot of thinking.
Right.
But at the end of it, you can't eat cotton candy every day of your life.
Right. Even speaking of governors, I've been paying attention to the race. You got a lot of strong candidates out there. One in particular, though, that's really kind of caught my attention, went to the Florida A&M University. I remember him when he was there as SGA president. Had a chance to actually meet him again a few years ago, back when he was kind of doing this thing with the city of Tallahassee, and that's Andrew Gilliam. I really like this dude. I like his wife. They're just good people on a personal level. But besides, him being just an overall really cool dude, what is it that you think that he brings to the table in this race, man? Because he's the one nobody saw coming. Everyone kind of wrote him off. He didn't have a huge budget. Everybody was dropping millions, and it was like Rack City for everybody else. And then this guy comes in. Andrew Gilliam comes in with the grassroots thing. Kind of going around, giving his talks, doing his points, giving high fives, kissing babies. And the next thing you know, people started noticing. People started paying attention. Bernie Sanders gets behind him. You got super rock star Angela Rye, who's notorious for blazing people up and spreading truth. She's on the campaign bus now. So what do you think it is about him that he brings to the table that's kind of got people re-energized again? And is it going to be enough?
So that's like three questions, man. The thing about Andrew, by the time people listen to this podcast, the election's going to have come and gone. So we'll find out what his fate is come primary day, on August 28th, right?
Right.
The thing about him that makes him attractive as a candidate, just to answer the first part of the question, is that his genuineness. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
people,
I love that.
People can recognize, where they came. If you can recognize, themselves in him or his journey. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that resonates with people on a bigger scale. Like, you're not going to find too many people who come from multi-million dollars. And I know, people been hit over the head like I'm the only non-millionaire in the race. And, keep saying that. And I've heard some people say, you need to stop saying that. But at the end of the day, it's a reminder that, listen, if we stop electing people who, only have a couple $100,000 net worth to their name, and that's including, their homestead,
Right.
Their homestead property, then, we're going to be in a place to where not only just do the 1% control our finances, but the 1% controls our government.
Yeah.
And so, there's something unique about his ability to run on a statewide platform and not have the money to go toe to toe for a lot of people. Like, he goes through the other, and I'm not disparaging success. Success is a great thing. I think success, we're in America because we all want to be able to have seven, eight, nine figures in our bank account.
Right, exactly. Because you best believe, if I had Diddy money, I'd probably be, this would be my third term being senator. I mean, that's just what I'd be on right now.
Listen, nobody's sitting here who's got $200 in their pocket talking about I never want to be rich.
Right. Right.
No, that's not true.
Right. Having Ferraris is for suckers.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Heaven forbid the fact that I look at my account and I see 10 figures.
Man, right.
Heaven forbid. So,
right.
But no, you look at Andrew and he makes he resonates with people. But has a national profile.
Right. I mean, you're talking about, Breakfast Club. I just saw recently that Kevin Liles from Def Jam and Bad Boy Camp, is on there endorsing him. I mean, he's got a lot of love on a national level for a race that's, this is a local race in Florida.
Local race in Florida, but
it's Florida is such a key state though when it comes down to what's going to happen in the next couple of years. So it's very important that you have somebody like Andrew in position. Man, for a million other reasons that you just named earlier, and for those that you didn't name yet. Yeah.
And I'm a pivot out even better for you. It's like the guy who doesn't realize, like, you got like a dime piece in your arm, right? That everybody wants.
Right.
And everybody's checking for it. And you sitting there bugging, looking at these other chicks in the party, and I'm like, your chick right here is the
Killing
best
it.
chick.
Right.
It's the best one. Like, why are you have a wandering eye?
Yeah.
What do you not see? I'm confused.
Yeah. I don't understand. Right.
I don't even understand. Help me understand. Why don't you look at the chick right next to you?
Help
right?
me see. Right.
And that's kind of where Florida's at. Not to sound like misogynistic or whatever, but it's just. I'm not saying he's a perfect candidate. And I think we need to walk away from that.
I mean, nobody is though, man.
Nobody is.
Golly, yeah.
Jesus ain't running for political office.
Right.
If Jesus steps down on this planet, he's not caring about the votes. He's caring about the souls.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
know?
And honestly, man, I mean, people, you don't want somebody that's just like you in office. You think you do, but you don't. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have somebody in there that, like you said earlier, that can be able to work with people from all sides, that understands policy, understands government, and all things like that. You're not looking for a homeboy. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, how people are like, I hear dads sometimes say, oh yeah, no, that's my son, man, he's my best friend. I'm like, but he's 6. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't need a best friend, he needs a dad. So just like with this, we don't need somebody who's like, oh man, I feel like I could have a beer with him. I mean, that's cool, but I don't want a guy I can have a beer with. I want somebody who's going to be a leader.
Look, pop you know?
Yeah,
And, it's
absolutely.
something. I don't know what it's going to take, but it's going to take something for us to walk it back. Like, you know what? We need to kind of, like, chill off on, like, this cotton candy. Remember I said we can't eat cotton candy all the time?
Yeah,
You know?
it's like it's like binge watching. You know, you're like it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, oh God, I know I got to go to work, but it's 3 more episodes, and so you do it anyway.
Right.
I feel like this is what this whole last 2 years has been like. It's people binge watching, except it's our life, but they can't get enough. It doesn't matter how dumb it is, what he says, how crazy, how wild, how dangerous, how reckless, how petty. It's like, man, did you hear what he said? Man, I can't wait for the next episode. You know
You know
what
what's
I'm saying?
crazy? Like, so I found myself in the first, like, 2017, I found myself always, like, talking about his tweets. Boom, 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 boom. And then someone pulled me to the side, real talk. Someone was like, yo, man, chill. You need to, like, chill. Like, stop talking about his tweets. I know they're funny. I know your posts are funny, but, like, you're seeming obsessive about it. And I was like, you know what? You're right. So 2018, when the calendar changed, I haven't mentioned his tweets all year round. I don't talk about him on social media. I don't even give it the energy anymore. Because guess
Right.
what? Even when I was giving it energy, even though I was like, yo, this dude's so stupid. Why is he always tweeting dumb shit? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm giving him the energy. Like, I'm keeping that same energy that he needs. He's thriving off that shit.
Yeah.
So, like, so it's kind of like, you know what? You know, when you don't want to, the biggest way you can show somebody you don't care is when you're just ambivalent to them.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even, like, you're not acknowledging them. That's what pisses people off. You know what I mean? Like, it's, you really want to piss off, your wife. Show her that you're not even, like, you're not even, she doesn't even acknowledge, you don't even acknowledge her presence.
Yeah, and that's also how you die too, by the way, guys. So don't do
That's how
that.
you die.
But yeah.
I'm just telling you, that's just how people, that's how you,
Exactly.
So, I say all that to say that, going forward, man, like, let's not give him that energy that he's trying to give us, because he feeds off of that. And, like, when we talk about his tweets, don't talk about his tweets. Don't talk about nothing he does. What you should be focusing on is the world around you, which is your local politics. Because that's what's really going to affect your life. And, get politically engaged. I think we can end it on that, right?
Man, that's pretty dope, man. Hey, well said, bro. Well said. Hey, where can people find you, man? People are always texting me or emailing me. Hey, man, do I know an attorney that can do this or an attorney that can do that? You're that guy, man. Tell them where to go.
Well, if they, go online, they can catch us at swtglaw.com, or,
Nice.
simple, just give us a call at 888-SWTG-LAW.
Awesome. And we'll have this on the website too, guys. We'll have it on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything, so you guys can get at Kamara Williams here, the one and only Attorney Williams. Thank you for being on the show, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you for the knowledge. I think you really, really helped a lot of people. I know I learned a lot today about history, about politics, about why it's so important to really get involved at the local level. My sister-in-law is always calling me about. In fact, God bless her. I never even know. That's how disengaged I am sometimes. I never even know when a local situation is coming up, and she's like, "Hey, did you go vote for XYZ for soil and water?" And I'm like, no, but I will. When is it? And then she's like, "Today's the last day." And I'm like, ah. So I really appreciate her doing that, and I really appreciate you educating me and the listeners today, man. So. Shout out to Nicole, aka Coley.
Baby did, crazy this, bum this, every day. Man, I'm dead serious. Man, I'm dead serious.